Welcome to Bianchi Law Talk. It's Sunday, 5 o'clock, so we're going to do another segment. And this one I'm calling You Be the Prosecutor, because, guys, it gets a lot into what I talk about in many of the videos that I do, that the criminal justice system is trying to balance a number of different things, and there's a lot of discretion by prosecutors. But this case, the two people that you see behind me, these are two defendants that were arrested in Missouri for starting what they called the Kitty Fight Club. You may have heard about this case. I did a formal media appearance on it this week. It's going to be a hot case you're going to be hearing a lot about. And it was basically these two daycare workers were supposed to be caring for 4- and 5-year-old children, but they actually started engaging them in fighting and were jumping up and down and encouraging them to fight. It was really sad to watch, and this happened about 2 years ago, and a little boy took a picture of it. It was really interesting how the children responded to this case. One boy was recording it because he knew that it was wrong. Another 5-year-old boy was trying to break the fight up, doing the right thing, obviously knew more than the adults in the room did. And then outside the room, there were kids that were like 10 years old saying, oh my God, they're fighting in there. So the children understood what was going wrong there. But nothing happened. Law enforcement did nothing with it until a mother of a 4-year-old child, he just turned 4 that day, it was his birthday, was beaten up as a result of what these two daycare workers did in the fight club, quote unquote, and wanted to know emotionally, why was it that he was beaten up? He was scared to go to school. You can imagine the emotional abuse with respect to this case. So she hit the internet. She started posting videos of this. There's a link in my bio, or in the description here, that you can click on and actually watch this little fighting that was going on and how these two people behind me were encouraging that to occur. And as a result of her 2-year effort to try to bring justice to her child and all these other children and to make sure it never happened again, finally the government made an arrest for child endangerment and child abuse. They'll appear in court in December. But I thought it was a really important topic. The two defendants here are Mickala, Guliford, and Tena, Dailey. They're 28 and 22 years old, respectively. And so I ask you rhetorically as a prosecutor, I think the greatest injury here was one of the boys got a black eye, but go to that video and watch it and listen to the mother when she talks about how the child just can't comprehend, all these children couldn't comprehend why people that were in charge and in care of them were allowing a violent assault for kids that age. So these charges, child abuse, child endangerment, they're pretty much the same everywhere you go in the United States. There's varying levels of punishment that a prosecutor can employ for this. And in Missouri in particular, it can go anywhere from a probationary sentence all the way up to potentially a 10-year state prison sentence, depending on how the prosecutor wants to play it out and the facts of the case, of course, so long as it follows the law. So one of my poll questions that I have here, I'd love you to take the poll, is, what should happen to them? Now, I only had 2 options on the poll, unfortunately. It's either no jail time, maybe a conviction, probation. These girls, I don't believe, had been in any trouble before. The point will be made, and that will suffice for deterrence. Or do you believe it should be something like the maximum? I wish I had something that was kind of in between, because that's typically where these cases work out. Or what do you think the proper punishment should be? Should it be a year in a county jail? Should it be state prison? These are the questions that prosecutors wrestle with all the time. Invariably, the defense attorneys will try to minimize that punishment down and try to say, look, it was a stupid thing. They've never done anything bad before in their lives. They're paying a price. They're going to have a conviction. How much more do you want? These are the questions we deal with, and it's one of the reasons that I picked this case. But I also picked it for another reason. The abuses that are going on with children are unbelievable. I'm a host at the Law and Crime Network, and we just got done covering the Zachary Keene case, where a 4-month-old boy was left for 10 days in a swing seat in a bedroom without food, without having a diaper change, was found dead in a state of complete disrepair, maggots through the body. It was really, really a sad, sad case. Now, obviously, he's charged with significant offenses, including homicide-related offenses as a result of that. But this underscores the child abuse that is going on in the world, as extreme as the Zachary Keene case, which is really a hard case to cover. But I'll tell you something that we did at the Law and Crime Network, and Rachel Stockman, who's one of the top execs there, wanted to do this, was not talk so much about the brutality of the death of the young boy, 4-month-old boy, but actually give people places that they can go to try to help. So childhelp.org is one of the websites that Rachel and we pushed on the Law and Crime Network. And we got some really unbelievable statistics about child abuse epidemic. Every year, 3.6 million referrals involving 6.6 million children are made to law enforcement and child abuse services places. In the U.S., it's one of the worst records in modern nations with regard to the issues of child abuse. 2014, state agencies received 1,580 child death from abuse and neglect cases. Let me say that again. 1,580 child deaths, which is obviously the end of the spectrum. But what about all of the abuse that's occurring that is happening before child death? And they note that these studies have significant undercounting in terms of reports of abuse, and that you have to watch out for intimate partner violence, drugs and alcohol abuse, depression, mental health disorders, and suicide attempts for people that are involved in these related activities. So we have a child abuse epidemic in this country. I would ask that you go to the link if you ever know anyone, or share this video with people. I have there the child abuse hotline that has a number that can be called, and the link to the childhelp.org organization. It's unbelievable. You can contribute. You can find out statistics, look what their mission is. They have a little map there to show you how many states they're helping and all the people that they're helping throughout the United States. It's an unbelievable resource. So guys, with respect to this my Kitty Fight Club case. And by the way, this isn't the first case in the United States where this happened. There have been a number of them, one more notably in Virginia, where the people were convicted and are facing up to 20 years in state prison for having one of these kitty fight clubs. What do you think is the appropriate punishment in the case? I'd like to know. So, by the way, you can always, of course, be on Bianchi Law Talk Facebook Sundays at 5 o'clock. We really appreciate you pushing that out to your family and friends. Subscribe to my new YouTube channel at Bianchi Law Talk. No, nothing intriguing there about that. And tomorrow, if you have a chance, I'll be on 10 o'clock hour at MSNBC with the great Hallie Jackson. I love being on her show, talking about all the legal topics that are going on. And then I'll be hosting from 12 to 3 on the Law and Crime Network. If you want to know how to go there, go to lawandcrime.com, and you can watch the trial live, or you can use Pluto TV. There's all sorts of platforms that host the Law and Crime Network. I have great guests that are going to be on there, including my friend Gene Rossi, so I hope you can make it. Hey, have a great week. Let me know what you think about the video. I'd love you to share it, because child abuse comes in all sorts of forms, and much of it is underreported, and people just don't know where to turn or don't think that they should get involved, but they should. Have a great week.